Which was more the model at, specifically more under Belichick and yourself in New England? Was it more selling the culture to the player, or was it more, no, man, this is our culture. Either adjust or I'm sorry, it's not going to work out?
I think it's a great question, and it's like it's hard to develop culture, right? Because that's a word that's thrown around a lot, and I think that's has to do with like values of the company. But in the end, what does culture mean to me? Do we care about each other, and do we care about what we're trying to accomplish? Most people just care about themselves, and you just care about your own personal situation. My coworker, what the mission is, not the owner usually doesn't think like that because this is his business. But the more you give people the opportunity to have ownership of that culture, the better. And I look at some great cultures over the years, like, sports are kind of easy, somewhat easy,
sure.
But even like the culture of like, and the armed forces, our military, like you show up to the Naval Academy, like, man, that's a culture. Like, and people are accountable to that. They show up every day. They show up on time. They respect each other. Everyone's probably got different tenets that they believe in. But the fundamental belief is I'm giving myself to something greater than myself. I'm giving myself something greater than me as an individual because it's going to pay off in ways that nothing in life can be accomplished in a big way without teamwork. Teamwork is what it's all about. You show up every day. You play your role. You do your best. And then you communicate about it. And then you have people that hold you accountable to the results. And if the results aren't good enough, then you re-strategize or you get rid of some people and you move on. So I think what we are fortunate enough to develop over an early period of time in New England was a culture of a lot of teammates that may not have been the best like myself, but we cared a lot. We worked really hard. We were really coachable and we won. And then some other players were like, dude, that's what I want. I want to win. They joined our program. So then we had, which is really important, you need people that drive the culture because it just can't be you. Because when you turn your back to focus on what you got to do, you need other people driving the culture too. And we developed a culture of culture drivers. Willie McGinnis, Teddy Bruschi, Mike Vrabel, Troy Brown, Wes Welker, Kevin Falk, Matt Light, all these guys that it was inherent to what the team ultimately ended up becoming. We all drove the culture. And then no one was going to fuck it up. So you got some people that came in from other places and man, they might have had maybe a certain reputation and they realized that when they got in that locker room, I can't make bad decisions here. There's no room for bad decisions in this place. Now, not that we were all like angels or nothing, we weren't. But we weren't destructive to what the culture was. And those guys who were, they didn't last long. And they realized pretty quickly they didn't fit in. And they moved on somewhere else. And my view was always like, man, if you're about yourself, you may be amazing. I would love to compete against you. Go play for the other team. Because when you're around a bunch of selfish people, and I've been around those, guys that you win the game and they're pissed off because they didn't get the ball as much as they wanted. And you're like, there's one ball. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to do what's best for the team. Like, there's a lot of other good players here. Some days it's going to be your week. Other days it's not. But what are we in this for? We in here to pad your statistics, whether that's because we all get accolades for those and we have people that want to see us succeed. But in my view, the team's success was always most important. And I think the great reward in my life is not the record that you would read off before I came on stage. What you said was your teammates loved you. That's the greatest reward I could ever have.
I'm telling you, when we had the guys there when we had the guys there at Foxborough, and for me, sometimes, if you want to learn about me, ask the people that work with me. You're going to learn more. If I want to learn about you, of course, I can do an interview with you, and you'll give the answers you'll give, and you're maybe not wanting to offend anybody, so you kind of now at a different phase of your life. But if I talk to your teammates, they're going to be like, no, man, listen, here's how he was, here's this. Everybody talked very highly of you. But let's stay on this. So, driver for you, what drove you more? Because you just said something. If you're selfish, hey, man, congratulations on you being great. I cannot wait to compete against you, right? Straight up to your face. Okay. What drove you more? Did words of what other people said about you in the paper, media drive you, kind of like Ted Williams was driven by that, did, hey, Tom Brady is done, Max Kellerman, every freaking season, now he's done. Is it more Peyton Manning's the better quarterback between the two? And it's just going to Joe Montana just yesterday said, well, the greatest quarterback of all time is Dan Marino. We all know that. It's not me. It's not Joe. It's Tom. Okay. Did that drive you? Is it more, the people who left you, they're like, hey, man, it's great. It's been a great run, but I'm going to go play with XYZ team. I'm going to go play with XYZ. You think that guy's a better teammate to go? Or is it people from other sports that they're like, hey, man, the greatest of all time, the GOAT. Listen, everybody says he's the MJ, he's the Jordan of this, he's the Jordan of this. And why are they saying he's the Jordan? Why don't they say he's the Brady of this? He's the Brady. I want to change. And I don't know if you're going to be, fully comfortable to serve, because some of these guys are your relationship, your friends. Which one drove you the most behind closed doors?
I think that the point is like the attachment of someone else's thoughts about me they did 1%. And here I was a little bit older, but I was still pretty decent as a player.